The Vedic Voice channel heartily welcomes you for a discussion on need of reincarnation. Initially, the self is all idiotic and dirty in nature. For it to gain maturity, to become sensitive, the God makes it pass through lots of births, through different species, including plants, birds, animals, and finally human beings. In each of these life forms, the soul gets certain maturity. For example, the birds can fly well. Due to the flying, the birds will gain certain maturity, which the crawling beings will not get, for example the snake. Due to flying, the birds utilize their wings that resemble hands and do this prolonged winging throughout the life of the bird. Certain part of its being will get maturity or sensitivity. Here it should be noted that, the physical and the unseen or the subtler being, the self or soul, are connected in the life forms. This is where the physiognomy or body reading comes into play. Due to constant use of certain part of a body throughout life, the corresponding part of the self of the individual will mature, will become sensitive, and the concerned being is now eligible for the higher life form. So in the next birth it takes a different life form, an advanced form, thus it elevates itself to a higher life form. For example, a cow might take birth as a human being. The body shape is connected with not only the self but also with the qualities of the self. This is one of the basics of the science of physiognomy. So, the tiger and aggression of the being are also connected. So in order to get rid of that bad trait, the self has to take birth as a tiger, if it has more of aggression. Here it should be noted that the evolution theory of Darwin operates in nature in such a way as to make the life forms more and more softer and mature as well, because the softness and maturity are connected. It is a principle in the animal kingdom that more the maturity of an animal, more its softness. For example, the cow is more matured than a tiger and the parrot is more matured than a vulture, so on. So, in order to get rid of a bad quality, the self has to take a rash or inferior life form or being. If aggression is more, then the self-concerned takes birth perhaps as a tiger or lion or hyena. If sexual urge is more, the being will take birth as an elephant. The Hindu scriptures are saying this. So, the self in each of its births is losing certain bad tendency or trait, and due to this losing or lessening bad trait, the self or soul gains maturity and consequently it is eligible for a better life form. Apart from this, in the process of leading that life, certain body part is more used by it and it gains maturity due to this as well, thus the self will grow or evolve into a higher life form. When the self has evolved sufficiently, then it is eligible to take birth as a human being. In the human life, if it does good deeds, it grows to attain the paradise or emancipation. If the soul or self does bad deeds, then again it goes back into the animal forms. Even in the human form, the self or soul takes different births, as a servant, a king, a saint, and many more. Because, in all these lives the soul will do different works, and it can satiate its different desires too. Thus it gains maturity or blooms within. So, in order to get rid of the particular dirt, the soul is given the concerned life form, and in the process of getting rid of this dirt, the soul or self will gain maturity or it evolves into the higher life form, hence the necessity of so many births and reincarnation. In fact, the evolution theory of Charles Darwin is mainly concerned with the physical bodies of the animals, but in fact this directly helps the self or soul to evolve. If the physical bodies are not ready, how can the soul enter it, live and evolve? That is why the Hindu scriptures are saying, everything is interconnected with everything else. The soul or self is a lotus of 1,000 petals according to the Hindu scriptures. In order for it to open, it has to take different births. In each birth certain petal of it opens. By the time the soul or self enters the human form, most of its petals are opened. The remaining few will open if the soul or self follows the morals, and then other will open through spiritual practices. Thus the inner bud will bloom completely and the self will attain the godhood, and there ends the evolution, there ends the matter. Getting maturity is not an easy thing, lots of hurdles are to be crossed on the road. This is why the life is full of problems. Unless a stone is hit by the chisel repeatedly, the statue is not out. Do you like this video? Please write your comments below and share this video on your social networks. Subscribe to our channel for more interesting videos on Hinduism and related stuff. Thank you for watching.